The authority says the 12-year-old girl has undergone assessments following her mother's death before jumping from height in Taikoo, Shing that same night. A LegCo subcommittee finishes scrutinizing the new national security subsidiary legislation in about 2 hours. And the World Cup is kicking off later tonight, with Mexico hosting the opening match against South Africa. Good evening, you're watching Cable News. I'm Jeremy Zhu. A double tragedy has struck Taikoo, Shing, where a mother and daughter have both fallen to their deaths on the same day. The mother was reportedly a social worker at Queen Mary Hospital. Labor and Welfare Chief Chris Sun has described the incident as a deeply distressing tragedy and confirmed that the Social Welfare Department will provide comprehensive support to the surviving family. Floral tributes have been left at Kaoshan Terrace in Taikoo, Shing, where the incident happened. It is understood that on Wednesday morning, the 48-year-old mother, surnamed Wong, fell to her death following a dispute over discipline. Her 12-year-old daughter reported the incident to the police. Following the tragedy, the girl and her father attended Pamela Ute Nethersole Eastern Hospital for emotional support, with the Social Welfare Department also providing assistance. However, after returning to their home at approximately 7 p.m. that evening, the girl also fell to her death. Secretary for Labor and Welfare Chris Sun confirmed that after the mother's death, the daughter underwent assessments by doctors, nurses, and social workers before being cleared for discharge. He acknowledged public concern over the response, but noted that the specific circumstances are currently under police investigation. Director of Social Welfare Edward To added that staff visited the father on the night of the incident to offer contact details and ensure comprehensive emotional support for the family. He urged the public to respect the family's privacy during this difficult time. Meanwhile, GT Ellen Yuan College, where the girl attended, has issued a notice to parents, stating that the entire school community is deeply saddened. The school has activated its crisis management team and is working closely with professionals to provide emotional support and counseling to affected students, staff, and parents. A Legislative Council subcommittee finished scrutinizing the new national security subsidiary legislation within the day. The government stressed that a chief executive issued certificate classifying national security cases cannot influence a judge's independence in rulings. Jamie Liu reports.
The subsidiary legislation states that the chief executive can issue a certificate on criminal cases to deem the offences and alternative charges arising from those cases as endangering national security. At a LegCo subcommittee meeting, lawmaker Gary Chan requested officials to clarify that the legal update will not undermine judicial independence. Secretary for Justice Paul Lam replied, the purpose of the chief executive issued certificate is to classify whether a case involves national security. Lam said it is impossible that a certificate could be used to influence how judges rule, especially on whether to convict. Lawmaker Jimmy Ng asked whether, in a 3-charge case, if the first charge is deemed a national security offense, the second and third would also be treated as such. Secretary for Security Chris Tang answered with his own example of a terrorist bomb plot targeting government buildings, in which an arrest seized both explosives and banned drugs. Tang said that while other illegal activities may exist, they are unrelated to national security and will not suddenly be deemed as endangering it. The security chief stressed that offences can only be deemed as endangering national security if there is a fact showing real endangerment. Following around 2 hours of meeting, the subcommittee finished negative vetting of the subsidiary legislation, which is already in effect. Any amendments will be dealt with at the LegCo meeting on July 8th. Jamie Liu, Cable News.
In a bid to improve road safety, the Transport Department will require all newly purchased franchised buses to install driver monitoring systems starting next month. Industry leaders have welcomed the move and called for the requirement to be gradually extended to other commercial vehicles. Cheryl Yun has more.
The government is set on leveraging technology to boost road safety, with a planned mandate requiring driver monitoring systems on all new franchised buses from next month. Chairman of the Legislative Council's Transport Panel Ben Chan expressed caution, noting that existing systems are not yet sophisticated enough. He said they can sometimes trigger unnecessary alerts, such as when drivers check mirrors or change lanes, which may distract operators and reduce their alertness over time. Meanwhile, the transport industry welcomed the initiative, believing it can help reduce accidents. James Kong, chairman of the Institute of Advanced Motorists Hong Kong, pointed out that driver monitoring systems are currently capable of detecting drowsiness, frequent blinking, and drivers looking down at mobile phones. He said that some large bus fleets have already equipped more than half their vehicles with similar systems, achieving roughly a 10% reduction in traffic accidents. Kong suggested integrating the systems with central control rooms so operators can contact fatigued drivers directly for immediate intervention. He also recommended that commercial passenger vehicles be equipped with anti-rear-end collision systems to further reduce accidents. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
The customs has seized a haul of suspected counterfeit goods, including football jerseys, trainers, and watches, with an estimated market value of $156 million. 6 people have been arrested. This operation comes just as the World Cup Finals tournament kicks off later tonight. The seizure includes 230,000 items, with roughly 80% originally destined for transshipment to the Americas. Between May 26th and this Wednesday, officers conducted an enforcement operation across cross-boundary control points, logistics hubs, and online platforms. They successfully cracked 34 cases of cross-boundary smuggling and online sales of counterfeit goods, which included 30,000 fake football jerseys. A 36-year-old cross-boundary truck driver was arrested at the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge and is currently released on bail pending further investigation. The customs also dismantled 5 online operations selling counterfeit jerseys, involving 40 items. 5 men aged between 17 and 30 were arrested and are also on bail. Officials have noted that some of the counterfeit jerseys are of a very high quality. To avoid being scammed, consumers are advised to purchase jerseys only from official brand stores or authorized retailers. In Northern Ireland, crowds of anti-immigrant protesters clashed with riot police in a second night of violence sparked by the stabbing of a man by a Sudanese asylum seeker. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer condemned the unrest and urged calm. Cheryl Yun again has the story.
In the capital of Northern Ireland, officers brought one demonstrator to the ground during clashes. Around 300 people answered a far-right call to take to the streets in Belfast for a second consecutive day of anti-immigration protests. Some protesters went on a rampage, setting fire to homes and shops belonging to recent migrants, leaving nearly 30 people homeless. Authorities said demonstrators had planned to storm a hotel housing asylum seekers, but were stopped by police who used water cannons to disperse the crowd. Protesters retaliated by throwing petrol bombs at officers and erecting barricades with debris to block riot police. Following the first night of unrest, most shops in Belfast city centre remained closed at midday, schools closed early and public transport was suspended. The riots were sparked on Monday when a 30-year-old Sudanese asylum seeker allegedly attacked 40-year-old hospital radiographer Stephen Ogilvie with a kitchen knife. He suffered serious injuries to his head, back and face and lost sight in his left eye. The suspect has been charged with attempted murder and remanded in custody. He is due to appear in court again on July 8th. In a statement, Ogilvie's family condemned the violent protests and appealed for an end to misinformation, saying Ogilvie remains in stable condition. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer condemned the violence and pledged to crack down on anyone who is fueling this division. Cheryl Yun, Cable News.
On the first papal trip to Spain in 15 years, Pope Leo XIV inaugurated the Sagrada Familia's final soaring sandcastle spire in Barcelona after a mass marking the centenary of its architect Antoni Gaudí. Following the Mass at Barcelona's Basilica of the Sagrada Familia, the Pope went outside the world's tallest church and offered his formal blessing to the new giant tower. Speaking in Catalan and Spanish, Leo blessed the Tower of Jesus Christ with holy water. The tower, crowned with a 5-story ceramic cross, was completed in February, bringing the basilica to its maximum height of 172.5 meters after 144 years of construction. An angelic voice choir sang as a spectacular light show lit up the basilica's stained glass windows from the inside, with drones creating effigy of Catalan architect Antonio Gaudí, dubbed God's architect for his devotion. He was put on the path to sainthood for his heroic virtues and expected to be beatified upon confirmation of one post-death miracle. For his masterpiece, full completion of the Sagrada Familia is expected in around a decade. Onto the weather now. Mainly cloudy with a few showers. Temperatures will range between 26 and 29 degrees. More showers later on Saturday. That's our news tonight. I'm Jeremy Zhu. Thanks for watching and good night.